Well, hello guys and gals, it's me, your old buddy Mr. Moose, and today we are playing a little train simulation 2015. Yeah. Here's the deal, I haven't played this in a while, but with the new rig and everything, I was like, man, I want to play it and see how it looks, because the old rig, it was okay. It did run completely great, but it runs pretty darn good, I think, on this machine, or should run pretty darn good on this machine, I say. This is going to be the first run I've made in it. My frames look really good on it. I'm running on the highest setting, and I'm getting good frames. Now I'm recording at 30 frames in fraps, so that's what we're looking at here. And we'll just take a run, because I figured, well, if I was going to play it, I might as well record it and post it up for you guys to see. There might be some of you who've never seen this game. There may be some of you who have it and you know, are screaming, oh no. But anyways, all right, so we are running all aboard. Let's get going. So it looks like we got green light to get out of here, and I need to put it in gear. I need to give it some throttle up to 80% to get out of here, and we'll get going. Speed limit coming out of the station is going to be 20 miles an hour. So as soon as we get rolling, I'm going to break the throttle back down and just kind of roll out of here until we get some speed built up. For those of you who never played the game, have never seen the game, I'll go over the HUD for you so you understand the controls, and we'll just kind of learn as we go along. Word of warning, I have not played this game probably in 2 months, so I might mess up quite a bit, so bear with me. Yeah, see, I didn't even signal coming out of the station, which is, you know, one of those things you should do at least. Alright, so, got my lights on. I'll turn that off. So I just want to pay attention to my speed coming out of here, because again, I'm at 20 miles an hour, which is noted right here underneath my speed. This is my speed here on the HUD. Shows my engine RPMs, how many amps I'm running. So I don't want to get too crazy and get going, so I don't want to jump up over my speed limit. So I'm going to be a little bit careful going through here. Now in just a second, my speed's going to pop up to 25 miles an hour, so we'll go ahead and give it a little throttle and let this thing start to pull on up. And we're at 25 now. So we'll just kind of watch and increase our speed to get on up to 25. Get up to around 22, 23, I'm happy. I don't want to get too crazy, because I haven't run this route. We're doing the Pacific Surfliner is the route that we're running today, which is LA to San Diego. Today we're running LA to Irvington, and I think we've got 3 stops that we got to make along the way. So we'll be doing that. And we'll check it out. I've never played this with track IR in, which is kind of cool, being able to look around and not have to use the joystick. There's your controls there. We'll look at those in a little bit. I think I can pan back a little bit. Yeah, can't really see them good yet. I'm gonna have to do some adjusting. Alright, so speed limit, we're about to hit a 35 mile an hour speed limit, so we'll increase. The one thing about the speed limits, in on the HUD here, you'll see my train here represented. You'll see the speed limits in yellow. The little lights are signal devices. Let me do the signal devices. The one thing about the speed placards here, they're kind of funny. If you hit the placard and with the front of your train, it's immediately. But if you're coming up to it, if it's a speed decrease, it's an immediate action when the front of your train hits it. But on the speed increases, it's only an action once you completely pass the placard, which I've always thought is kind of stupid, but it's the way it is in this game. You know, if you're coming from 70 miles an hour down to 45, it's as soon as the front of your train hits there. But if you're going from 20 to 45, you really can't increase speed until it completely passes the last car in your train, which I've gotten so many speeding fines because of that. It's just not even funny. Alright, so as soon as we pass that, we can hammer on up to 45, and we'll increase our speed a little bit as we head through the rail yard here. And I'm going to bring it up to about 42, 43. I don't like to... Sometimes I'll start pushing the line, especially if I've run it and I know the line pretty good. But I have a confession, I don't know this line very good. So we're about to bump up to about 79, so I'm going to walk all the way up to 45. I'm not even going to hit 45 before I can dump the throttle. So we're 79, so we're really going to hammer on up. And we'll start getting some speed going. I'm using a combination of my mouse and my keyboard to control everything. I just kind of go back and forth. I usually always keep my hand rested on my throttle control. That way if I need to throttle back in a hurry, I can. And I tend to have more control over it with my keyboard than I do with my mouse. Which seems funny, but a lot of times if I pull my mouse down, I'll end up going into the dynamic braking instead of controlling it the way I want to. Alright, so we're up around 60. I'm not going to get too crazy because in a mile I got to be back down to 44. So I don't want to get crazy here. And I'm kind of going downhill anyways. So I think I'm just going to coast on around here. So if you look at my HUD down below, you'll see my train. Now my view has gotten increased because my speeds are up. And you can see in a half a mile I got to be down to 44 miles an hour. So I will go ahead and give myself a little bit of brake. Just about 2% of the graduated self-lapping brake. You got two sets of brakes on this particular train. I've got the direct braking and the dynamic braking. I got there a little quick, but that's okay. I'll go ahead and give a little power and start increasing back up to 44 because we are going to be going up a hill here, and that incline is going to start to throw us back down. So we'll go ahead and start laying the power on so we can make this and not lose too much momentum. I don't want to go too crazy because I look and I see right on the other side of this hill we're going to be coming right back down. So probably get it up to about 38, 39, and then kill the power and watch my brake. I might not even go that high. So if I get to a point where I can actually drive this thing a little bit without watching all these speed limits. Oops, see, there I go. I'm gonna be speeding. Come on, lower down. Yeah, I don't want to get too crazy. Ooh, I avoided that speeding fine, but I gotta get some brake into this. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on. Gonna get that speeding fine. Oh, I avoided it. Nice. Alright, so let's just roll through here. 40 miles an hour is the speed. And I'm speeding. Ah! I wasn't looking and I had gotten my throttle up. And I got a little too fast there. That's irritating. Alright, so we'll be able to get some speed up here in about another half a mile. So while we cruise along at about 37 miles an hour or so, we'll go ahead and show you that HUD a little bit. You've got over here this little block here with the red, green, yellow. That's going to be your G-force. And that's going to just basically tell you how much G's you turn in when you're going into a turn. As you go into a turn, the little white dot will start to move to side. As long as you're in the green, you're okay. You're going to start hearing a lot of squeal off of the brakes and all, or off the wheels in all the turns. But then well, I guess I can go ahead and lay some power on here. I was getting kind of slow. Being unfamiliar with this one, I'm just kind of like watching and playing a little more conservative than I normally would. As I get under this one, I'll be able to lay the power back into it. Alright, so we'll power on up here, get ourselves some speed going. You'll see where our next stop is, which is Fullerton Main 3. That's where we're going to be stopping at. Underneath it'll tell what time. It tells us how many miles we are, so we're like 19 miles away from it. And our estimated time to get there is at, what is that, 1844? So it looks like we can go ahead and gain quite a bit of power because we've got at least 2 miles of clear sailing. So I'm going to go ahead and get up here around 65, 70. Signals look good. This runs pretty good on this computer. I don't see a whole lot of... I'm maintaining my frames the whole time, which is good. You know, I'm recording and playing the game at the same time, so it's not perfect, but it's still pretty darn good. So I'm happy. It's a lot better than it was on the other computer. The other computer was a little bit of a slideshow sometimes. It wasn't terrible, but it was... you could definitely tell there were some issues with it. So we'll cut down to about 25% power. See if we can maintain speed around 75. We're drifting down a little bit, so I'll probably give it a little more power. Alright, so getting into the HUD, I showed you that. Here's our current time. Our ETA is down here. You've got your throttle here. On this particular train, if I throttle up, that's power to it. If I go throttle past the center point, that's going to be dynamic braking, or resistance braking. Then I've got my transmission here, which I can put in forward, reverse, and then I've got my other brake lever here, which is my direct braking, and you know, I can throw it up and go from there. And then you've got braking over here. You can change to a loco brake. And then you got train brake here, so you can change how this lever actually performs. Alright, so you can see I got to get back down to 65 coming up in a mile and a half. So when we get about a mile out, I'll probably just decrease power. Half a mile out, I'll adjust. Fuel, sand, steam, all that is here on this gauge, depending on what train you're driving. Then you've got your internal controls here. So you got your lights, windshield wipers, load and unload. If you're doing passengers, it opens the doors up. If you're doing something that is got let's see what we're at. Just gonna put a little bit of brake in. Should be enough, and then I can roll power as I get down to 65. Have to give it a little more brake. '66, 64, come on. Get on down, there we go. As long as you're in 65, you're okay. It doesn't matter if you're at 65.9 or 65.0. As long as you're at 65, you're fine. As far as speeding. So we'll run around 64, 63, somewhere right in there. I'll pop my power up to 13% just to maintain. But then we're going to go 79, then 50, so, you know, it's weird the way they do this stuff. They try to trick you up a little bit. So we're not going to throw any power into this thing. We're just going to kind of cruise along because, you know, at this point I need to actually throw a little brake into this. Lose enough momentum to get me down to what, 50? Come on. Yeah, I'm going to get a speeding penalty. Yeah, it's not terribly bad. I haven't played in forever. Alright, so no whistle zone. We're at 50, then we can go 60, then we're at 50 again. 70, 50, so we're not going to be speeding too much through here. Oh, it's a no signal thing. I might end up a little late to my first stop. It just depends. So over here you've got even more controls that'll give you ways to look around the train. I keep thinking that I keep wanting to think A is decrease and D is increase, and it's absolutely the opposite. Alright, so we're headed on through here. I can see by changing, I can see the rail line that I'm on by changing into that view. I can see my stop list by picking here. And I can go ahead and roll some power into this real quick. I don't want to get too crazy because, again, I'm coming right back down to 50, so it doesn't make any sense to really do anything but get up to about 52, 53. You know, for right now. Now once I get to here, I can go ahead. So this really looks to me like this is a switch up here, which it is. Probably putting me onto a different line or something like that. I'm probably missing like a bunch of signals that I'm, you know, whistle stops or whistle blows on placards for crossing intersections, but honestly, it's been so long since I played this. I'm just trying to make sure that I get the, I don't want to speed too much. So the last one down here basically is coupling information. If I was uncoupling, if I was doing something where like driving a freight train, I can couple and uncouple my trailers or cars with this one here. So that's what that is. And again, I can turn off my list of things and I can get back into looking at everything. So let's get rid of that. And let's build some speed up. Not paying complete attention to what I'm doing. So many speed changes on this line. I didn't want my first one out to be a bullet train because I wasn't really sure what the frames were going to be like, and so I adjusted to running this, and then I'll get onto a bullet train. Alright, so we're up to 79 is what we can run. Back down to 75, so let's just shoot for 74, 75. You gotta watch your signals too. You know, green means you're clear. Yellow means you have to you know, be considerate of. You need to be prepared to stop. And then red, of course, means you've got to stop. So, and there's no forgiveness in this game, and some of these will hit you hard, and you just kind of have to really be paying attention to them. Though usually in the descriptions you'll see where they talk about, you know, you pretty much get an idea you're gonna have some issues when dispatcher starts talking to you about it ahead of time, but in this particular case we didn't get anything, so I imagine this is going to be a pretty straightforward run. The difficulty level was moderate, and I think that was mainly because from what I'm seeing here is all the speed changes, because there's a ton of them. So we got 9 miles to go until our first stop, so we're just cruising through this little station. Just kind of look around at the scenery and everything you got. So over here we have some more controls. I can lean out the window, lean out the other window, back inside. We can do a drive-by, so you can actually see the train come in. Kind of cool. Helicopter view. I can go ahead and speed up a little bit more. Rear helicopter view. There's the Surfliner. And then I can look at the passengers sections inside. This cycles through the different cars. Overhead view from up above. Front coupler view. So you got all kinds of different views of it. Alright, give it a little more power, because it looks like we're clear for quite some ways. Push the speed up so we make up for some time where I've been just loafing along. So over here on the controls again, I showed you windshield wiper lights, unload, load. This is sand, so if it's a rainy day you can sand the wheels. Your horn and your bell. If you are running it, it's easier to do your horn off of your space bar than it is to do it off of your off of the buttons over here. Alright, so we'll cut the throttle back now. Back down to about 38. See how we do. They're still creeping up a little bit. We're going to be going uphill a little bit. You can see by the brakes in the line here the gradient change on the route ahead. And again, you've got your signal device here, and the number next to it just is the distance I have to that device. Speed change coming up 70 miles an hour. So that's about 1.5 miles away. And again, we can look at where we're at on the rails. One of these actually centers me on it. There we go. So there's the train that we're running, and this shows where we're headed to. As I drive a little bit more to get a little bit more comfortable running these, I can do a lot more. It's been so long since I've played. I'm so out of practice. And I got to get my track IR set up so I can actually look down and see the controls really well. And I might actually drive off of them some. Alright, so we need to get down to 70, so I'm just going to give a little bit of brake. And a little bit goes a long, long way. So I'll go ahead and give power to make up for that. So I like to give it a little brake and then give it some power to compensate for the drag. Yeah, you don't really have to signal much in this. There is a W placard out here that you'll see every once in a while where you're supposed to whistle, but they don't really require that you signal too much in this game. Alright, so we can get back up to 79. So let's shoot her back up here. Try and make up some more time. We're supposed to be in the station at 4305, and we're looking at 4345 right now, and that's going to jump up even more when we brake. That doesn't take into consider braking, so when we start braking, that's going to throw our time off a little bit. So we may be late getting in to the station. I'd like to try and get that down. So I need to get up to about 75 here and kill the power. Because we are coming up to another speed change here to 75. I'm going to try and creep right around 75 until I get to that mark there, and then boost the power again. I'm going to be flirting with a speeding ticket here. Alright, so I'm in the 75. I've got to make sure I don't get up over 75, but I want to keep it right hammered at it. So hopefully I won't mess around and forget that my left finger is power and my right finger is decreased power. Go ahead and give that some more. And we're good to go. Alright, so you can see our stop is coming up. So we actually want to kill the power now. And I'm about a half a mile, 3/4 of a mile out. I start bringing my speed down, and I want to be about 40 miles an hour when I come into the station. So just give myself a little bit of brake, give myself some power to keep my momentum up. Alright, turn that down a little bit, give myself a little more brake. Alright, give myself a little bit more brake. Be bringing that on down. A mile out. It's been a while since I've done this. Hopefully I don't overshoot this. Give myself even more brake. Oh, come on. Get that whole train in here. Come on. I don't think I'm going to get the whole thing in. Alright, so we're opening the doors. We didn't get completely on the pad, but we got close enough. So we can go ahead and let that do its thing. See what everybody's doing out here. Doors open, a few people are getting on board. So the red button here, once it's done, then we can get on out of here. Alright, so we got it cool to go. And let's go ahead and get out of here. And again, you got to be up in the 80s to get going. Come on. Get to rolling. Oh, I was in the 60s. No wonder I wasn't moving. Come on. Get to moving. Alright, brake is off. We're in gear. Why are we not rolling? Come on. Wow, this thing is just slow taking off. It's not even on an incline or anything. There we go. Alright, so 55 is what we're going to hit in second. So coming out of the station, I don't want to get really crazy. Turn them. Hopefully by the time I hit it, I'm up in the 50s, but I don't have to slow down too much. Actually, it should be fine. Should be able to stay on the throttle the whole way through there. Yeah, 55. Good to go. Oh, you know what? I'm going to be 55 for a long ways. Ooh, I almost messed up. I was thinking 55 and 79. I almost put too much throttle in there for a while. I was thinking once I crossed it, I was 79 miles an hour, and I was like, ooh. Alright, so next stop is in 4 miles. And we're supposed to be there at 51:15. We'll be there at 51:30. Might get a little speeding penalty there. It's alright. Alright, so probably going to bring this up to about, well, I'm just going to push it as hard as I can. Try and make up some speed to get in here a little bit faster. We're about 15 seconds or so off our ETA right now. Got about 3 miles to go. So keep the power up and keep going. And again, for anybody watching this video and thinking, man, he missed a signaling placard or whatever, and I'm focused more on just making sure that I get it running and don't blow through the stations or miss a signal light right now. Most of the time I'm pretty on with all that stuff, but again, it's been a while since I've played this, so I'm just, and it's a different game to me with the frames this smooth. Things are coming at me a little bit quicker. Alright, so there's 79. And we gotta get down to 70 here for a switch. Kill power. And then we're 1.5 miles to our next stop. Alright, 1/2 mile out from that speed change. We'll give a little bit more brake to get us down. And I'm going to put a little bit of brake in and just start easing down for our station. Trying to get down to about 40 before we get there. I'll go ahead and put some power on. Alright, see if I get this right this time. I don't think I did. Getting pretty close. Oh, come on. I didn't mean that as an emergency braking. So because I threw my brake up to 100% too early, I got a penalty for emergency braking because I was still moving forward a little bit, and I didn't mean to. That was silly. I missed it by just a little bit. I'm moving my head over. There's something in the way of that part of my screen. I can't see it good. Alright, so 51:21. So we're pretty darn close. We're pretty much on schedule, so that's not too bad. Alright, well, let's go ahead. Brake off. Throttle up. Coming out of the station, you don't want to just throw your throttle all the way up to 100%. You sort of do want to be gradual coming up, especially if there's any kind of moisture that particular day, because you will get wheel slip. And for every wheel slip you get penalized for it. So you want to, you know, apply your power gradual. And if you think you're gonna have a little wheel slip, give it a little sand. And all you got to do is hit your little button there to sand. And hopefully, eventually, we'll get to moving. This thing takes a while to get rolling, doesn't it? Come on, power all the way up. Usually I give it about 80% power, and that gets me rolling pretty good. Now see, if I had to hit this ramp right, I should have stopped up in this area somewhere before that signal. But I failed. Didn't do too great with it. Not doing terrible, but doing alright. Alright, so let's look at our, we got picks up at Santa Ana Main 2. Pick up passengers at Irvine Main 2. So Santa Ana Main 2 is in 4.4 miles. So we're just going to lay on the power. We got speed change to 35 up here. So we don't want to get too crazy. That's coming up in less than a mile. So probably just go ahead and drop our power back. Keep a little power going. And when I get out, I'll run ourselves down to about 35. See if I can get down there pretty easy. Wait till I'm about a quarter of a mile out and give it some good brake. Go ahead and start giving it a little brake. Run it on down into the 30s. And then I'll just give it a lot of power to compensate. Come on, get on down there. Get on down, get on down, get on down, get on down. Gotcha. Yahtzee! Alright, keep my power up so we can keep on going, don't get too slow. And then we'll get around the corner, we'll hit another... It's sort of kind of stupid the way this is set up. I'm going to get another opportunity to speed up, but I've got a stop platform going to come up in about 3 miles, so I'm not going to really be able to gain a ton of speed. I'm going to get speeding. Oh well, I'm just going to ride it out. Can't do much about that. Alright, let's gain a little momentum here. 60 to 40. This is ridiculous. So yeah, speed up a little bit, slow back down. And then speed back up, slow back down. Kind of silly. I'm gonna let you speed up only to make you slow right back down. Like you can get up to 79 in that short of, you know, in this short of a distance and then back down to 50. It's sort of silly. Back down to 40. So there's a whistle sign. That W right there tells me I need to blow my whistle. And I know I'm doing a miserable job of spotting those. My next one I'll do better. If I do a next video. I don't know, you guys will have to tell me if you like this sort of stuff. If y'all do, when I do, I'll record one every once in a while. I usually only buy trains when they put them on sale through Steam. Alright, so we'll run up to about 50 for our next speed change. So you get a lot of no whistle zones through here because it's all residential. So no signal. So kill the power. We're coming up to a 50-mile-an-hour zone. We'll just kind of cruise through it, and then we'll be on the downslide, so we're going to be putting a little brake in. To maintain our speed and working towards getting into our station here. Another whistle platform. Now hopefully I judge this one a little bit better. And like I say, I'm pretty rusty at doing all this. So I'm going to wait until I get about here, and I'm going to put 50% on. And hopefully I get woed up pretty quick. Kill my power. And just kind of let her ease in here a little bit more. And I think I got that one right. Sweet. Open the doors. And we got one more stop to do. So we'll look at our list. We're here at Santa Ana Main 2. And if we center, we've got to go right here for our next stop, it looks like. And that's going to be end of the line for us when we get... Oh, it's way down here. This is where our end of the line is. So that's what we're looking at. So you can cheat too. You can throw the power up a little bit early and then drop the brake. Alright, so you see the W placard right there? That's what I'm talking about a whistle placard. If you see one of those, you're supposed to blow your whistle. Wheel slip, and I'm losing points every time it slips. So I lost 25 points on wheel slip. My score is going to be horrible. You don't have to throw your bell on, but I've always, you know, all the trains coming into my stations and stuff, they've always had their bells on coming into the station. So when I do, I usually throw that on there. I usually whistle coming into the station, whether the game requires it or not. I really haven't spent enough time really reading and getting into all of the nuances of this game. I just kind of play it because it's cool. The scenery's pretty darn good in it. A lot of whistle placards right here. Alright, so we get an increase to 90. Our next stop is in 8 miles. So it looks like we're going to get a chance to really run her out. And I'm speeding once again. I'm not even gonna. I think once the front, if the front is speeding, you know, if the front's going to be speeding when you come to it, the front ought to be, it ought to be consistent, you know. If when you hit a speed change coming down with the front of the train, then that ought to be when you hit a speed change going up with the front of the change, that ought to be when you can make that change too. So this particular route, it's just like the stock route in the game. There's a series of routes for the for a Pacific Surfliner. And you know, like all of them, you start off with like your moderately hard ones, then you get one that's a little bit harder, and then you get one that's, you know, really hard with, you know, really having to watch your signals, and you know, you may have to brake here or whatever. I've done some where, I mean, you're just yellow light after yellow light after, ooh, red light, yellow light, red light. Just crazy. Or you just run yellow lights for so long, you're just creeping along because you're just at any moment expecting to get that red light that's gonna, you know, bust you. This one seems pretty easy. I think there's a way to adjust my point of view that I'm a little bit further back, so it'd be a little better to see the controls. I gotta look that up. I do like this with track IR versus doing it the old way, where you had to right click and move the mouse around and all that other stuff. Alright, so we'll pop down our throttle a little bit. Drop down to about 50%. And then keep on going. Game looks completely different with this processor and video card working together, and it's the same video card. It basically is the fact that my old processor and my old video card basically had a bottleneck, because I had a really good video card and an older processor, and they just didn't talk to each other that good. So much better what I got going now. Very happy with it. But anyways, like I said, if you guys want to see some more train sim stuff, you know, I can go through, you know, a lot of the basic routes and everything, and I've got a few add-on trains we can do if you guys are interested in it. Now, most of the videos will be an hour or so long, because it does take about an hour to run any of these routes, so that doesn't bother me. And I don't know if you guys want to sit through an hour of it. And I've seen the videos done numerous different ways. Some people will commentary the entire time. Some people will just sit back, they'll commentary at the very beginning, and then they'll run off and drive the train and never say another word to you. I usually like to just try to talk through what I'm doing and you know, review why I'm doing something. You know, that way you understand what my thinking is and what I did, and then when I do blow something completely, I can go, yeah, I hosed that one. Pretty good little incline here, because we're 100% power, we're still barely maintaining speed, and we're about 2 miles out from our last stop, where we'll wrap this whole trip up. Keep hitting the wrong button. Alright. So we are going up. It'll slow us down a little bit, just taking the power out. Now I'll go ahead and pull that power on down. Kind of start to slow up. and we'll see where we're at about a half a mile out if we need to put some brake into it, which it looks like we probably will. Yeah, I'm gonna put a little brake in, get down to 40 miles an hour. Yeah, I'll try and wait until the last minute to put the brake into this. Yeah, go ahead and give myself some brake now. And kill my power. And I'm on the dock, or on the... Boom! Nailed it. Alright, open the doors. I say I nailed it. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so that's going to be the end of this route. It won't kick me out until it actually loads and unloads and processes the whole thing. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you do want to see some more, just let me know. Like I say, I play it periodically. I haven't played it since I got a new rig or anything else like that, and I haven't ever recorded just because I didn't think the videos were quality enough with the old rig. So if you guys like the video, give me a thumbs up on it, or leave your comments, and if you guys like them, we'll do some periodically. And again, I really don't, again, with the videos that I put up, some of you guys may like them, some of you guys may not like them. It's alright, and I just kind of put them up there because there might be somebody out there that enjoys it, you know. Alright, so we did pretty good on this. Let's see what our final score is. Let's see, I got almost gold. 8,089 XP. But I got a ton of little speeding. Let's see, I got a bonus for being on time there. I was on time there, and I was on time there. So did pretty good, even though I played a little conservative at times. I still made everything on time, so that was pretty cool. So alright guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. It's Train Simulation, or Train Simulator 2015. I'm Mr. Moose. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time. Take it easy. Bye bye.